you're making me cry, and it's my job to make you cry, so that's fine. What did I say? Thank you so much. I watched more than usual today of that, and it made me realise that when I was a boy, cinema, I was growing up in Belfast, there was a war on it, it was a bit of a scary place. Cinema made me feel safe. I sat in auditoriums and I could feel myself unwind. You know, there was a kind of relaxing, and I feel that throughout my life cinema has lifted me in its arms and taken me places. I didn't know it would literally take me around the world. Me and John, my producer at the back, for which thank you so much, John. But it did indeed, as you can see, took us around the world. We hope that you feel in this last 5 days, these last 15 hours, these last blink of an eye, that it took you somewhere as well, and that's our way of saying thank you to this incredible, democratic, beautiful art form. So any last comments or questions? We're going to do a photo, as you know, if anybody wants to be taking a picture of the audience. Yes?
Thank you so much for taking us on this adventure with you. It's been a great week. And I had a question. We've come full circle, 100 years of using celluloid as a medium. What do you think now of digital and its stability, durability as a medium?
I love digital. You know, one of my favorite bits is that scene from the Turkish film Ceylan, where the couple are on the bed and it's all about close-ups and they pull focus and you see the pores in his head. That's all shot digitally. That film, the ending of that film was shot in Diyarbakir in the snow. Everybody said one thing digital cannot do is highlight snow. In this film you get all the different colours of snow. I love digital and I have no problems with it whatsoever. The key thing is, over the last 5 days, you'll have seen that some of the films are in very bad condition. Manny Call's films are in very bad condition. Some of the South American films are in very bad condition. This is the crucial thing. Relatively small sums of money need to be put into the digitizing of all those films and the restoration of all those films, so that we can show stuff like this in another 100 years' time as well. So I think that not enough money is being spent in the right areas of digital cinema, and I think it behoves those who are making vast sums of money out of contemporary entertainment cinema to put a wee bit of money back into the process of making sure we restore. And I must say hats off to Martin Scorsese for his wonderful, wonderful World Cinema Foundation, which is doing that splendidly.
Yes, I read your book on the history of film several years ago, and
I was
struck by its marvelous global perspective.
Yes.
And I was wondering what works, what books may have led you to that particular viewpoint. Were there any authors or critics that especially opened you up to the wonders of world cinema?
So the question is, were there any books or critics that opened me up to the wonders of world cinema? The great Japanese writers. Is there anybody from Japan here? What's the name of? There's a particularly good book on Japanese cinema, which I forget the name of. I'll try and recall it in the next few minutes. Which?
Donald Ritchie.
Not Donald's book, although Donald, as you know, is in this. You know, and Donald is brilliant. But there's a Japanese critic who wrote a single volume, or at least it was turned into a single volume and translated into English, because I don't remember, I don't read Japanese, so that would be good. And for African cinema, Ferrig Boughedir's book, Boughedir, his wonderful book on African cinema is crucial, I think. Frank Ukadiki's book, Ukadike, his wonderful book on African cinema was really, really formative for me. Some of the French writing of the 50s and 60s was crucial for its heat, its passion, its chaleur. So that, and Bordwell and Thompson's great book on Ozu, I think, is just exceptional. So there, I think Bordwell and Thompson's writing is very important as well. Also Barry Salt's book, S-A-L-T as in salt, on early cinema.
I missed you talking about Bergman, because I wasn't here.
We know, I'm hardly talking to you because of that.
But what about his books? Now, what do you think?
His books on his own work are very good, you know, very good and very, very honest. And one of the key things about, when we looked at Winter Light, and there's a lacerating scene in Winter Light. That came directly from his book. His books on himself are very good, but also there are other books in Bergman that are very good as well. He's well written about.
This may be a better question for Timo Langer, your editor.
Yes.
It's sort of technical, it's appropriate for today, over the transition from celluloid to digital. Just, I'm really fascinated by how you must put the film together.
Yeah.
I think the cycle is everything, especially the original celluloid film, is you have to get digital copies, make your digital copies, or is it edit them?
John was brilliant. Producer John was brilliant at this. You know, I would just be in a sort of slightly actually, we need a clip of this, and I would send John an email, and 3 days later he would send me.
Can't you bring John
John,
down on
yes.
stage?
This question.
You'll understand that working with Mark, you don't really need to talk much. He does it rather well. Yes, hunting for the DVDs was, we had a list at the beginning from Mark's book. He gave me a list, probably only a couple of hundred that he needed. So I would be getting hold of those over the last 5-6 years and building up the stock. And then, of course, once we'd filmed around the world, we had people who could help us hunt them down. And so I'd get in touch with Takio in Japan and say, look, we need this thing that Mark is annoying. YouTube is annoying for producers, because Mark could sit at home and find things on YouTube, put them in the edit, and then we had to find out where they were from and how we could get good copies of them. But Takio would then find the thing that Mark had found on YouTube, or the Indian production manager would help us find something which we couldn't track down on DVD. So that's how we did it. It's all from DVD, except 1 or 2 little instances where the only thing was YouTube. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes.
I know you've been congratulated and commended a lot of times over the screens here, but I want to thank you one more time for this amazing experience. I just graduated from U of T in the 70s.
From where?
U of T, University of Toronto.
Yes.
And I really, really miss my film lectures. It was great to come here.